Hey guys, I'm Zan,
I'm Oli.
and
We're
the
invincible.
Invincibles. Boom, we finally got it. Yes, take 3000.
You're probably wondering, what is this?
Man, we're just two friends that love everything nerdy and a callback to our childhoods.
If it's wrestling, comic books, video games, or movies, you name it, we love it.
So let's get to it, man. We love wrestling. We love DC. We love comic books. We love films, video games, whatever. And we have a lot of good stuff coming out today, guys. So let's get to it. We're going to cover Elimination Chamber. We're going to cover the DCU news with movies and casting and stuff like that. And then we're going to talk about our anticipation for Phase 5 and what to expect from Ant-Man. So thank you for tuning in, guys. Really excited to have you guys listen to us. So, Ollie, I'm just going to open the floor to you. Elimination Chamber is this Saturday. What's the card looking like?
I think it's looking quite good. It could be complete so far. Possibly getting a Lita and Becky match against Damage Control, but one of the matches I'm looking forward to the most, besides the obvious one, is the United States title Elimination Chamber match. There's a lot of people in that match who I'd like to see win. So
Who's
we've got obviously Austin Theory, champion. We've got Seth Rollins. We've got Bronson Reed, who he beat Okada last year in the G1. So yeah. He's a force to be reckoned with. We've got Damian Priest, who has been a United States champion before. Johnny Gargano, previously a North American champion in NXT. And someone who I think would be an incredible choice to win.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Montez Ford.
Yes, sir. We want the smoke, baby. We want the smoke.
Yes. The best frog splash in all of wrestling.
Really?
Yeah.
All time?
Oh, yeah.
All time?
Well, not all time, but currently.
Oh, yeah.
I'd say.
When
I was at Clash at the Castle and I saw how high he went, yeah.
Talk to us about that,
good.
bro. Yeah, talk to us about that. You were at Clash at the Castle, bro. What was it like?
Probably one of the best days of my life.
Really?
So, yeah. We couldn't... We got the tickets a bit late from when they came out because the tickets in our price range sold out straight away. Then some came back on like a resale. So we bought those, but by the time we got the tickets, all the hotels had sold out. So we got a coach there and back on the same day from Manchester.
No way.
So it was a busy day, but just taking everything in, because the last pay-per-view in the UK was like early 2000s, but that wasn't a proper pay-per-view. It was basically a glorified house show. So it's pretty much 30 years since the last one, SummerSlam at Wembley. So I'd never experienced anything like this before, and just seeing the whole city, everyone wearing WWE merch, and then walking to the stadium, just seeing the whole thing packed. The stage looked really unique, and then when the matches got underway, the whole crowd just chanting, "Hey, hey, Bailey!" The atmosphere was like. So I've been to Liverpool matches on European nights. It was that level of sort of intense, and the excitement was just like nothing I've ever experienced. Really.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow, bro, you're lucky, man. Like we need more crowds in the UK, bro, because American crowds are not nearly as lit as you guys, bro. I'm sorry. Like you guys will make chants. You guys will like be like, "Who are you? Who are you?" Like we don't do that here. Unfortunately, it's tough, bro. It's tough.
Yeah. Money in the Bank's going to be good.
When is that?
July 1st.
And where's that, in London?
O2 Arena. So they're doing Friday Night SmackDown live from the O2 Arena, and then on the Saturday, Money in the Bank.
Okay, that's dope. So do you see Elimination Chamber having the same atmosphere as Clash of the Castle? And kind of going off of that, right? We got the US title. If you had to rank the card, right, like outside of the main event, which we'll talk about, Roman, Sammy, what matches do you think we should be most anticipated for? Which matches do you think will be the most entertaining?
I think if the crowd's good, which it will be because of the main event, that elevates a match that would just be on a normal pay-per-view would just be an okay match. That elevates it to a pretty good match. or even a great match. So I'm probably looking forward to the US title chamber match the most. I would say Brock versus Bobby, but I think something's going to happen, and that's going to lead to like an ODQ match at Mania. So I'd say, besides obviously main event is number one, but then probably the US title chamber match, then the Raw women's title like number one contender chamber match, then probably the Gunther's match is on SmackDown. I thought that was going to be on the pay-per-view. Gunther versus Madcap. That's on the SmackDown, but the go home SmackDown. Okay. So then probably Brock versus Bobby after that. Then the mixed tag Edge and Beth versus Finn and Rhea. Then if they do it, Lita and Becky versus Damage Control.
Okay. I mean, I really hope Mommy destroys Beth Phoenix again. But she needs to get her own back. Over here at the Invincibles, we love Mommy. Like, we love Mommy. Yeah. Rhea Ripley, if you're listening, please come on the show. It'd be really dope. Yes. Thank you, Mommy. But no, okay. So, U.S. title match. Is Austin Theory retaining? Should he retain? Have you enjoyed his run so far?
I think he's brilliant. He's a natural heat magnet. He's really, really good at what he does, and he's one of the highlights of Monday Night Raw every week. He's so entertaining. I think you can either go, two ways with it. You can have him retain, but maybe set up something for WrestleMania. Mm-hmm. I think there's possibly a story to be told with Johnny Gargano, because of when Johnny Gargano came back, did his promo. He talked about having a WrestleMania moment. He talked about winning the United States title. Austin Theory came out, and they had a bit of back and forth. But if the title were to change hands in this match, instead of setting up something for Mania, I'd go with Montez Ford. It's time for him to have his singles push, I think.
I agree. He's so entertaining. He's so electric. The crowd loves him. He has the charisma. Do you remember how he was like Michael Jackson moonwalking up to Dominic, and then just like yelled at him and threw him back into the ring? Like, he's just so
good.
He's so good. Would you have, so if Montez Ford, like, let's say, does get the title, do you see him going up against Theory at WrestleMania? Like, do you see that program?
I think that could be really, really entertaining. They'd give them like 15 minutes at WrestleMania, maybe 20 minutes. They'd have a banger of a match. Mm-hmm. And I'll have Montez win, get a singles win, biggest stage of them all. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that could even open on night one or night two. That'd be a good opener. So yeah, I'd like that. That's my prediction. Let's say that.
Montez. Now, who do you think will be probable to win the title? Because we're both on team Tez, but I
could see any of them winning it, really. Obviously Seth, even though he had a very short reign with it a few months ago, it was really good. Yeah. Priest has held it before. We know he can hold the title, and Judgment Day does need gold. Mm-hmm. Maybe is the women's title enough to really elevate Judgment Day? Maybe they need just more than one belt. Mm. Bronson Reed, he beat Okada, so he's a beast. Yes. And then obviously the story with Johnny and Theory. So any one of them is a credible candidate, but if it's changing hands, I think the most probable winner is Montez. Okay. Yeah, that's what I'd say.
All right, let's. I hope so, man. It's time, man. He needs that, bro. Like, he's so good, and he needs that. He deserves it. It's about time. And Angelo Dawkins been getting a lot more singles pushes too, like in terms of being able to, even though he's been losing, he's been able to really show more of what he's been able to do in the ring. He's been getting a lot more, like, he hasn't been getting squashed. He also lost a lot of weight. He's looking great. So, yeah, man, it's looking great for the Street Profits. I really hope Montez wins it. What do we have next on the card again? Like, we have next.
So, let's talk about Edge and Beth.
Okay.
Versus Finn and Rhea. Okay. That is, I think Rhea's, like you said, is going to end up destroying Beth again somehow, and the match is going to do something to set up Edge versus Finn at WrestleMania.
Okay.
That's what I think is going to happen. It's not going to be too long, probably about 10 minutes, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you see winning that? Because I'm not sure.
Honestly, I want the Judgment Day to win. Like, because I think Edge is. I think it's kind of outplayed now. I'm not. I like when I think of Judgment Day. Honestly, I think of Dominic and Rhea. Finn is the leader, I guess, and Damian Priest is like the rise for the Judgment Day. Like, he does that thing. But like, I don't know. When I think of Judgment Day, it's just like Rhea has been just such a monstrous force, and then Dominic is just so funny. Like when he's like, "I spent hard time in the pen. You have no idea." Like when he's telling the Usos, like when you won't survive where I came from. Like the Usos are like, what? Like, I don't know. Like when I think of Judgment Day, I definitely think the highlight is Rhea and Dom. And,
did you hear what Dom said in that NASCAR segment they did on SmackDown?
It was like he said like, "Do you want me to whoop you like I would always whoop you or something?"
Well, and Dom was saying like, "Oh, I learnt these driving skills from my cellmate. He was a getaway driver."
Oh no, I didn't see that. That's funny, man. No, Dom. I really like how Edge hates Dom. Like he respects everybody else in the Judgment Day, but with Dom, he's like, and then there's Dom. So like,
yeah.
I think Edge needs a new feud, bro. Like this Judgment Day thing is getting outplayed. I want them to hold titles.
It'll be a year, won't it, at Mania? Because the Judgment Day began pretty much. It was sort of little bits here and there sprinkled in leading up to Mania last year, but it really began at Mania 38. So it'll be a full year that he's been involved with it. So yeah,
it's gotta go.
Yeah, Mania Hell in a Cell match with Demon Finn Balor will be surely that's the end.
I'm not too excited for it, but more Edge is good. Edge, sure, whatever. Like, we'll watch it.
Every Edge match now, even if I'm not that into it, I'm like, a few years ago we thought we'd never see him again. So, I'm still happy to see him perform.
Yeah. You just, hopefully Randy Orton comes back and, they can have a program together. I don't know, instead of feuding. I don't know. Like, I'm just not feeling it, bro. Like, the whole, what I like about the Judgment Day is I love when Dom's trying to talk and then the crowd, like, boos him and then everybody's like, let him talk.
Yeah.
Talk to him, Dom. And they're just booing him even more. Like, they definitely know how to work the crowd, but they need titles. They need gold to be taken a bit more seriously. They're the more humorous bloodline. That's that. But before we get to the bloodline, we got other matches, right? So we got Bobby versus Brock. I'm surprised. That really should be a WrestleMania match.
Unless I think there's going to be either something screwy happens to set up a no DQ match at Mania, or they do just go out and absolutely batter each other. Maybe Gunter comes out at the end, challenges Brock. I'd love to see that. If they go all out and have the match, a full match here, that's what I'd love to see. That's more fantasy booking than predictions, though.
Hey, bro, but that because Gunther, you remember the Royal Rumble? Gunther and Brock like face to face, like bro, and then Gunther had a world class performance. I want to see that. I want to see that now. I want to see that now. I want to see like so. Would Bobby be like? I know wrestling fans use this term too loosely, but in that case, would Bobby be buried?
I wouldn't say so. I'd say let them both get a lot of offense in. Let Bobby get a few spears on Brock. A few spears, few F5s. Give him 10 minutes. Bang.
Okay. Do you think this is the end of their program? You think this is the end of their feud, or you think because Gunther? I would love to see Gunther versus Bobby versus Brock.
Yeah,
for the Intercontinental title.
That'd be such a good way to get Gunther over even more and elevate the IC title even more than it's already been elevated since Triple H took over. And seeing Brock fight for the Intercontinental title.
Yeah.
We've never seen that before. So
No,
yeah,
I would love that.
that's something I'd love to see. But I do really selfishly want just Brock versus Gunther 1-on-1.
Brock versus Gunther, yeah, and I hope Gunther manhandles Brock. Like
Yeah.
I hope Gunther just wipes the floor with him, like just set up a new dynasty, you know.
Yeah.
Like that would be the way to go, you know. And it would be kind of like a throwback to Cena versus Brock. Now roles reverse. Now Gunther doing that to Brock. Like, bro, that's a fantastic fantasy booking right there. Yeah, that would be fantastic. Yeah. So let's get into the main event. Are we missing any matches first, real quick? We have
the women's Raw title #1 contender match.
That's gotta be Asuka, right?
Yeah.
It's gotta be Asuka.
Yeah, she's the only one who I see being like the one to beat Bianca out of the women in that match. She's the only person who I see. All right, that they'll beat Bianca at WrestleMania. I'd love to see Liv Morgan given another shot, but not against Bianca. Because obviously you can't turn Bianca heel yet, and Liv is massively over as a babyface still. So yes, it's got to be Asuka. She's going to tear through that. Maybe give her a performance similar to what Shayna had a few years ago. You know, just eliminate every single person. That would be a good way to go with it. What do you think about that one?
I mean, I love the Kana. I forget how to say it, but I love the Kana evil facade. Like when Carmella, when she was talking to her, and then the ooze started dripping from her mouth. I was like, I want this. Like this is you know, like Rhea is mommy, but that's mommy too. You know what I'm just I'm joking. Rhea's gonna give me a riptide for that. But no, I definitely want to see Asuka win that. That'd be cool. And this is no fault of Bianca. I just don't see the Raw Women's title as engaging currently. Like, I think the program I'm most excited for is Rhea versus Charlotte. But Rhea doesn't, outside of the Edge match, she has no involvement with the women chamber matches, right?
No, just the mixed tag, yeah.
And they're probably trying to keep her fresh to avoid injury too, right?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Especially after the scare in the Rumble with the knee popping out and then popping back in. You want to keep her as fresh as possible.
Okay. All right. Well, then that's. Yeah, no, I definitely see Asuka win. Asuka is one of my favorite ones, and I love when she called who did she call a bitch that one time? It was really funny.
Oh, it was Io Sky.
Oh yeah.
They were going back and forth in Japanese.
Yeah.
Oh, he's so good.
Yeah.
That was so good.
Yeah, no, Io Sky. I was thinking also, like, remember last year with Charlotte? She called her a bitch too or something like that, and I don't know. That was funny. I don't know. Asuka's funny, but I want to see evil Asuka.
Just speaking about Asuka, that quickly, her versus Io Sky is a WrestleMania match in the future. Surely, that would be such an amazing match because they have history in Stardom. I'm sure that they were part of a faction together in Stardom back in the day.
Okay.
And obviously their style of wrestling. I just want to see that. That's a dream match.
Maybe at SummerSlam. Put it at SummerSlam. That'd be the way to go. So definitely. There's that. So let's get to the main event, man. I mean, we've got all our matches, all our predictions, right? Let's talk it. Let's talk Sammy versus Roman, man. So this match. So here's how I'm going to set it up for you, right? When you look at the bloodline, Roman has kind of dominated everybody, walked over everybody, and just moved on to the next. And the most, before this, emotionally charged you ever got was out of irritation. Like with Kevin Owens, he was like, all right, fine. You want the title match? Fine. Just go away. Like he just was done with them. But with Sammy, it's a bit different. With Brock, there was fear a bit in the character. With KO, there was a bit of irritation. With Sammy, it's like personal. Like, do you think this is the most angry the Tribal Chief character is so far in the program?
Yeah, because to sort of not go dark with it, but go get to the realism of it. Roman is an abuser. He's
Right.
a manipulator. He gaslights his family, and he is saying, Sammy, you tore down my family. His family, him being the head of the table, is what's most important to him. And Sammy somehow is like the one who started to tear that down, and he doesn't like that. So it's so compelling, and seeing him pissed off in this way is it's gonna be a very, very intense main event.
Especially when the guy who gave him the most problems, Jey Uso, to Roman, was the guy who was telling Roman to not accept Sammy. And how the tables have turned now. Jey is kind of, as of right now, siding with Sammy, right? And Roman's kind of all on his own right now. I really kind of love the concept of Roman not taking Sammy seriously. He was kind of like his pet hamster, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, we'll give you the honorary Us, which in the summer when he gave him that t-shirt, or the fall, whenever it was, like, that was like, wow. Like, I never thought Roman Reigns would kind of soften up and be kind of like a, I've won everything, so now it'll be nice. Like, no, like it was awesome. But now with Sammy kind of being serious, like spearing Roman, threatening Paul, going up to Jey Uso saying, I acknowledge you. Like, Sammy's being more serious. Like, worlds fall apart, Sami Zayn, NXT Sami Zayn. I love that. How do you think the match at the Elimination Chamber is going to play out? Because, and how would you fantasy book it? Let's do that. How would you fantasy book this match? Because I think this is the best in terms of storyline. This is the best Roman Reigns match upcoming. Like, this is going to be the best one out of his Tribal Chief run.
So, I definitely agree with you for that. The atmosphere is going to be unbelievable. And the way I'd fantasy book it is Sammy comes out, is it Worlds Apart, his old theme tune, crowd going insane. Sammy, busts out the little dive through the corner into the tornado DDT, which he hasn't done in like 7 years or something. The crowd will pop for that. Have just a proper 15-20 minute match. Sammy looks like gets a load of near falls, looks like he might win. And then I think I'd have Jey come out and maybe Roman manipulates him, gaslights him into going to super kick Sammy while the ref's down, misses, hits Roman. Ref is up in time to see the foot connecting with Roman's face. Sammy wins by disqualification, but so he doesn't win the title.
But wouldn't that make it Roman wins through disqualification? Because that would be like Jay's helping Sammy, right? Because he would see.
Oh shit! Yeah, the other way around then. Yeah, Jay goes to super kick Roman, hits Sammy. Ref sees it. Sammy wins.
And then Roman would be so then Roman wins the title. Do you think they're going to jump Sammy like they did KO at the Royal Rumble?
Yeah, and then it's like I think like you said, there's going to be a similar situation to Daniel Bryan. So Sammy's going to be like, I want into that WrestleMania match. I didn't get a fair shot, and then we skip forward ahead to WrestleMania.
Yeah, let's do that.
Sammy's got to win that main event.
So
Is that how you think it'd go? Or how do you think the main event will go?
I think the main event's got to be more than 20 minutes. Maybe not the actual match, but just in terms of like the after the match theatrics, before the match theatrics, actual match. It's got to be like an extended program. You know what I mean? Because the Bloodline, and this is not a diss to WWE, but the Bloodline is the best thing they have, and that's good. Like AEW has MJF, New Japan, they have like Stardom, they just got Money Monet, over there, so they're doing great stuff. But the Bloodline is the wrestling story, I would argue.
Yeah.
Like, did you see Paul Heyman said Roman Reigns should win an Emmy for his performance? And he was dead serious.
Probably should.
I agree.
Like, WWE haven't done anything as good as this in a long time. The Yes movement was fantastic. Kofi Mania was brilliant, but it's still not quite on the same level, which is insane to think.
Because this has been going on for like 3 years now, bro. Like this is like
ever since SummerSlam 2020, Roman came back. Yeah, it's. I'm running out of words to describe this storyline.
No, like it's, I think the storyline it brought, like, you know, so it's sort of set the stage, right? I think we all agree growing up wrestling, it was always really frustrating talking about it with our friends or at school, because every idiot would always go like, oh, it's fake. And it's like, bro, you don't watch Star Wars and go like, oh, Darth Vader could never choke somebody. Like, yeah, no, obviously it's a movie, bro. And it's the same thing here. It's a movie, but live in front of us. Like, you know, so I think that there was always that stigma that made WWE niche, like super popular, pro wrestling, super popular, but kind of niche audience, right? Roman Reigns has made WWE pop culture cool. Like, you have the Migos shouting out Roman Reigns. You have LeBron James shouting out Roman Reigns. You got Messi's kids wants to meet Roman. Think about that. Lionel Messi's kids are having a hard time meeting Roman Reigns.
Yeah.
Like, think about that. Think about that. Like, bro, Roman Reigns is WWE. As much as I hate his character, that's good, because that's how good of a wrestler he is. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, Roman,
he's finally on the level of superstar that they always wanted, but he's a heel,
and I love that. Like, keep it.
Yeah, it's how we should be.
Yeah, and this feud is the most personal of the tribal chief, right? Like we said earlier, like, I love that. And especially because Sammy knows everything. He knows how they work. He knows how they operate. Like, he could be the one to take him down. Here's how I think I would do it. You know, maybe have, you know, Solo stay in the back or something like that, not walk out with Roman. And Roman and Paul do their, you know, 30-minute entrance. Sammy comes out. They have the wrestling match. Maybe have Roman jump Sammy before the bell, you know?
Okay.
Maybe hit him with a few chair shots before the bell, and then he says, ring the bell, and then Sammy kind of has like this Sammy, like moment from the crowd. Sammy gets up, puts up a valiant fight, is about to win, and then I would book it how you said, right? Jey Uso or Jimmy Uso come. They try to hit Roman or something like that, maybe to help Sammy, but hits Sammy. Sammy goes down. Ref sees it. Sammy wins by disqualification, and that would really piss Roman off. And here's why: the last person who betrayed Roman Reigns was Seth Rollins. And Seth Rollins is the only person to beat the tribal chief out of disqualification last year's Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah.
And same thing. It's literally the same thing, but, you know, it's like poetry, you know, it Ramirez or rhymes. I forget the phrase. And same thing here, right? Like, you have Sammy there doing the same thing, having the same role. It fits. It works. He loses. Roman is mad that he loses a disqualification to Sammy. Sammy and Seth both beat him by disqualification. Sammy and Seth also were the ones to betray him and break his stables. So they're mirroring. And so Roman would, like you said earlier, Roman would be super pissed and be motivated to give Sammy that match at WrestleMania and to really smash him there.
And then, Cody, there's been talk about Cody winning the Undisputed title and then just keep on being a big babyface and being like, oh, Monday Night Raw, SmackDown, you can have the other one. Just do that with Sammy and have Cody win a tournament for the other belt or something. It's as simple as that, I think.
I think Cody is the boring choice here. And no disrespect to Cody Rhodes, but I think in the storyline, Cody is the boring one here. Like, I just don't like, like, rest in peace, Dusty Rhodes. I definitely want Cody to win a title. And I also think from a competitor, like a business standpoint, it's really smart for WWE to elevate a former AEW talent and make him the champion, because now
100%.
Because now that other AEW wrestlers, if they're like Tony Khan doesn't know how to book a show, Triple H just made Cody Rhodes WWE champion, and he was very vocal about how much he hated WWE at the time. There's no reason for them not to jump ship.
Yeah. And Sami Zayn talked in his interview with Ariel Helwani, being like, I don't think they see me as the face of the company, which is completely fine. If you split the belts, Cody can be the face of the company. He can be the one. Like he was at the what movie premiere was he at the other day? He was on the red carpet the other day for some movie, like doing all interviews and stuff. I can't remember what film it was, but yeah, he can be the one in the suits on the talk shows on the red carpet, the face of the company. But Sami Zayn is he's the people's champ. I thought
he's honorary Uce, bro. It's his story. This is his story. Here, I think if you were to break the bloodline somehow, some way, it's got to be Sami to beat Roman for the titles. But if Sami loses, it's got to be Jay to take him down. Cody coming and beating Roman is like, I don't know. To give an analogy, have you seen Jurassic World, the first one?
Yeah.
Okay, you remember how that T-Rex was whooping the reptile, the Indominus Rex. So the Indominus Rex is Roman Reigns, okay?
Okay.
He's destroying the baby reptile, right? In this case, let's call that reptile Sami Zayn. It's the same thing, right? That he's destroying that reptile, and then out of nowhere, the Mosasaurus comes out of nowhere, grabs the Indominus Rex and drags him under sea. To use an analogy, it's the same way. The Indominus Rex is like Cody, or the Mesosaur is Cody Rhodes here. You have Sami and Roman and the Bloodline doing their own thing, and then Cody just comes out of nowhere and takes it. Like to me, and I don't think that's a fault of Cody. I think he's a fantastic wrestler, one of the best in the world. He can talk, he has the story, he has the charisma. He's definitely the guy. But in the few months of him being injured, and this is no disrespect to him, he just hasn't been here. Sami has, and he's built himself up. Like nobody could have pulled off. He's just not feeling Uzi.
Yeah.
Like, could you imagine Cody Rhodes trying to pull that off?
Yeah, it just wouldn't work, would it?
Yeah, or like, and you remember Roman was he was laughing. Him and Jay were laughing, like they were like, so this is why you're not working well. It's because you're not feeling Uzi. Like I think Sami is the guy to take the titles, but I think Jay is the guy to destroy the bloodline.
So that leads me into something I'd like to fantasy book again. This might become a common theme in these podcasts, my fantasy booking.
Yeah.
But the fall of the bloodline is going to happen on August the 5th, 2023. SummerSlam.
Okay.
Jay versus Roman. Some type of stipulation match. Maybe run it back, do another I Quit Hell in a Cell match. But Jay beats Roman and Roman takes time off. Jay all comes full circle, and Jay, is the tribal chief.
I would love that. And then maybe give Jay Uso a program with Bray Wyatt. Do something a bit different.
Give him all the main event promos. I want main event Jey Uso.
That's what they call him. That's what they call him now. Like you see the commentaries, everybody's saying main event Jey Uso now. So I think they're slowly hinting at him like leaving. But I think like for WrestleMania, so here maybe Sami gets screwed at the Elimination Chamber, and a situation where Roman is also pissed. Sami calls for the main event. It mirrors Edge and Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns from 2 years ago, right? Edge won the Royal Rumble. Cody won the Royal Rumble. Daniel Bryan was screwed at Elimination Chamber. We all are calling Sami's going to get screwed at the Royal Rumble. The people really want to see Sami in that main event picture because, with all due respect to the tag titles, that's a step down. That's a step down. I think the story is way too big. It's way too big now. So I think you need to put Sami in the main event. He's the most popular by far. He has the crowd behind him. And I just think it's kind of ironic that you have all of these big juiced up muscleheads losing to Roman, but Sami's the one to beat him. Like that, there's just something poetic about it, It's
beautiful. It's a beautiful story to tell.
I would book it like that. I would, because the rumors right now is that they are not doing Roman for 2 title defenses on both nights. As of right now, it's just Roman on one night.
Because if they do it one on each night, the second one, regardless of whatever way they do it, the second one's not going to have the same feeling to it because he will have already lost one. So but the triple threat is the way to do it.
I would book it like that. I would have, yeah.
I've just come up with something else that I'd like to present to you if the triple threat goes ahead.
Sammy,
Cody loses. Yeah, Sammy, Cody, Roman. Sammy wins.
Okay.
Cody loses. The Raw after WrestleMania, Cody comes out, does one of his, so what do you guys want to talk about? One of those promos. He's very emotional. And then, Switchblade, Jay White.
Oh, bro.
He comes out. Yeah, bro. They go into a program. They're both on opposing sides of of a tournament for one of the titles after Sammy splits them, because he's a big baby face now. They're on opposing sides of a tournament for, say, the WWE title, and they meet at whatever the next pay-per-view is. Maybe let's say Money in the Bank in London. But then again, that is a long time to go without a world title. So whatever the next pay-per-view is after WrestleMania, the final of the tournament for the vacant title is at that pay-per-view. It's Jay White versus Cody. Give Cody the win.
Yeah, I mean, and Jay also has to. So when he lost, right, to leave Japan, does that also technically mean leave New Japan Pro Wrestling too?
Here's the thing: they've got New Japan Strong, don't they? Which is they want to, they want to grow that in the US. Jay White's already living in the US. He lives in Florida, so he could be just going to elevate New Japan Strong, but selfishly, he's got to turn up on the Raw after Mania.
No, he has to. I need the Switchblade, and I hope they bring back the same music. Same music.
If they can somehow do that, oh mate.
I mean, they did that for Cody, for AEW.
Yeah.
So I could see it. I think. Yeah, I would do it like that. I would have Sammy. Now, would you have Sammy pin Roman? Because if they do a triple threat, because here's the thing, right? If they do a triple threat, you still have the bloodline, right? So if you had Sammy versus Cody versus Roman, you have the bloodline, you have Jimmy, Jay, Solo, then would you have a situation where the bloodline turns on Roman at the main event at WrestleMania? Maybe they super kick him. Or is it a situation where they try to help, they lose, and then that further kind of splinters the bloodline?
Yeah, I think something like that where they try to help, but they don't. I wouldn't have Roman take the pin, though, because, like you said, the person to, put an end to the bloodline has to be Jay. So Roman's, when he gets pinned, that should be when Jay beats him when they have their match. So it should be Sammy pinning Cody, I think, because then that Cody can talk about that in his promo the next night, and he's very emotional and stuff like that. So yeah, I think that would be the way to do it.
And I feel bad for Cody, man, but it's the same situation with Drew McIntyre, right? Drew was really hot right after WrestleMania, but you can't be champion forever. You can't be the face forever. And at a point it got stale and the fans wanted Bobby more, and Drew ended up putting Bobby over. I hope Cody is a professional, and he definitely is. And I'm sorry, Cody's just a boring option. He's it's like, we're just talking. There's that third guy in the corner trying to be a part of the conversation. That's what Cody feels like. I don't know. Sammy's got to be the way to go, man. And especially with WrestleMania, right? Like, I wanted The Rock. Like, I wanted The Rock. Like, The Rock versus Roman would have happened, but The Rock isn't coming because he did Black Adam. He's trying to make his Black Adam movies. He's old. He's moving the other movies now, and Rock kind of screwed the WrestleMania main event. But in the words of Cody, we have better choices. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, the story that they're telling now is better than I think any story with The Rock would have been.
I agree.
Also, he wanted to focus on Black Adam, but it didn't do a great job of that.
Yeah, hierarchy.
So, sort of moving into that DCU stuff, what's the future for The Rock in the DCU? Does he have one?
No, it's done. Like it's
completely done.
It's done. It's got to be done. I think when you look at Black Adam, like Wakanda Forever did Black Adam better than Black Adam. Namor. Think about it. Namor was more Black Adam than Black Adam. Like the whole concept of I don't kill, well, I do. It's like, bro, like that's the engaging part of the plot. If you kill people, like, and you know, I'm not trying to dismiss that, but I'm just saying, like, really, like that's the compelling. That was the plot. Think about that. That's the plot they've been working on for 15 years. to put it in context, James Cameron was working on the Avatar movies for 15 years, and they're fantastic. The Rock has been working on Black Adam for 15 years, and that's what we got. And he skipped out an opportunity for WrestleMania for that.
For WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, one of the biggest WrestleMania main events of all time. Yeah,
for Black Adam.
For Black Adam.
But you know, I'm not trying to hate on The Rock, but like it's so easy to. But you know, I mean, with DC, I mean, we got some great stuff coming out, bro. Like, so admittedly, I was not a huge fan of the Snyderverse. I remember watching Man of Steel. I actually like Man of Steel. I'd give it a 7 out of 10. I think it's decent. I just think the weak link of that movie is Henry Cavill. I don't think he was a compelling Superman. I don't think he was a hopeful Superman. I don't think doing the bare minimum is enough to show he's a good Superman. Like people said, oh, he saves lives. Oh, he wanted to help people, but Pa Kent told him not to. It's like, bro, that's doing the bare minimum. Come on, man. Like,
that's his job. Like that's his job. He's a superhero. That's his job.
Like Superman is an earnest guy. Like he's not. He he wants to help cats out of trees. He tells kids to don't do drugs. Like he makes TikTok dances. Like that's Superman. You know, Superman is not Snyderism. And Zack Snyder himself, did you see the interview when he said, I had to make Superman relevant from the comics? How are you going like how are you going to like shit on the source material?
What does he mean? Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. Like with Superman, you don't need to change him much. You don't need to try and put your own stamp on him. He's already the most iconic superhero of all time. Because when you see like a generic, say you go on like an app with like PowerPoint, click anything with like a clip art or something. You just search for a default superhero. It's got a cape. They've got a logo with the letter in the middle of it. Everything is based off Superman. He's like the template for a superhero. He's been around for nearly 100 years now.
Yes.
You know what Superman is. You don't need to try and make him edgy.
Yeah. I didn't. I'm glad the Snyderverse is dead and gone. And also those fans, like, bro, like James Gunn will tweet. He literally tweeted, I talked to Zack Snyder. He does not want to come back. And then idiots were saying, source, prove it. It's like
he is the source.
But I'm excited for Superman Legacy, man, because my favorite iteration of Superman is definitely the Justice League cartoon Superman. That was what I grew up on. I love that Superman. So if they can bring back that, and they're also using All-Star Superman as an inspiration, Superman for All Seasons as an inspiration. They're using Mark Waid Superman. Like I'm excited. Like Superman Legacy is going to be really, really good. Do you think we're going to get any casting news about these movies? Because we got Superman Legacy's coming out. We don't know anything about it other than that he's a nice, optimistic guy who's a reporter. We have Batman, The Brave and the Bold coming out, where it's going to be a Batman and Robin film. And we can confirm it is not George Clooney. It is not Val Kilmer. It's not Christian Bale.
Yes.
James Gunn came out and said that is false, dunking on Grace Randolph once again. Like, you know, we got the Supergirl movie, which looks freaking fantastic.
I'm excited for that.
We got Swamp Thing, and then we got Creature Commandos as a TV show, Waller as a TV show, Lanterns. That's going to be really good. And I'm missing something. Authority as a movie. Yeah, Authority.
Something I love about what James Gunn is doing with this new slate is like you mentioned, then the comics they're taking inspiration from. He's being very open. He's telling people this is inspired by this comic, which we've never really seen that in superhero films. Not him saying, look at this comic right here. This film is going to be based off this, because that Supergirl comic sold out because he promoted it, and then people are, oh, I want to go and buy that, and it's
like $200.
Yeah, because people are research. It's like Prime. It's like trying to get a hold of Prime, getting hold of a Supergirl comic at the moment.
Yeah, right.
But yeah, he's making people read the comics and respect the source material, which is brilliant. Yeah, I respected him. I love his work anyway, but I gained a new level of respect for him after doing that.
And I kind of wish the MCU did that too, because in Moon Knight they had like, oh, if you scan that barcode you'll see where the comic's from. They did the same thing in Werewolf by Night. But I think one thing I want to see differentiate the MCU from the DCU is I don't want the typical iRobot action Shrek type of comedy that the MCU tends to have, right? Where you have something crazy happens, somebody makes fun of a superhero pun, somebody says, did that just happen? And then like a fight scene, and then rinse and repeat. I feel like a lot of Phase 4 was like that. And I mean, you had your Shang-Chi was brilliant, Wakanda Forever, No Way Home. But, then you had, Miss Marvel, which like I thought it was fun, but I'm not gonna watch it again. It's just a National Geographic for Pakistan. Like that's all it was. Like that's all it was. Like if you want to learn about Pakistan, watch Miss Marvel. But if you want to learn anything about Miss Marvel, don't watch Miss Marvel. And that's what I think DCU needs to do, right? Like they need to make the films shot, look, and feel a lot more contemporary, but have that same charm of the DC universe. Like DC is not dark. There's dark elements in there, but it's not this dreary world. And I really hope Superman can change that up. Like I really hope that. And but did you see the rumors of like Ezra Miller is still going to be the Flash, Jason Momoa is still going to be Aquaman.
Yeah.
And then the DCU Batman, it was going to be George Clooney, but that's fake. They're going to get a new actor. So is this going to be a full reboot or not?
It's gonna. I think it'll be like a soft reboot, like how Bumblebee is soft rebooted the Transformers universe. You have a lot of things that are, are similar, but sort of brand new stories. And the Ezra Miller thing, that's you want to believe that people can change, but after what they did, like that's they committed crimes, so they deserve to be punished for that.
Yeah.
But you also want to believe that people can become better.
Yeah.
Which is what superhero stories teach us. They teach us about how to be better people. So you want to believe that they'll become better. But yeah, that's a story for another time. Could talk about that for a long time.
Yeah, I mean, I'm excited for the new slate of DCU movies, bro. I think it's gonna be really, really like my favorite DC character is Aquaman. Then it's Superman. I know everybody's like Aquaman, what? But hey, don't disrespect Aquaman. I like Aquaman.
Yeah,
But I'm excited for Superman. I just want to see I want to see a personal story about Clark Kent. I want to know what makes him tick. I want to see him like after I watch a Superman movie, bro. I want to go run for president. Like that's how I should feel. Like it should be inspiring. But that's the DCU side. We got a lot of we have a lot of years. Like actually, no, not really. We got 2025 for the new slate of like new DCU movies. But currently, we Marvel is still here, and they will continue to be here. 2025 is also going to be a crazy year for movies. We got Superman, we got Batman Part 2, we got Fantastic Four, we got Spider-Man 4 potentially, and then we have I forget another movie, another franchise, Avatar 3, I think.
I think Avatar 3 is next year. I think that's 2024.
Oh, thank you. I mean, I like more Avatar. So
when's Secret Wars?
I don't know.
Because Secret Wars and then Kang Dynasty, they're very close together, aren't they?
Kang Dynasty is 26, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
So Secret Wars is 25 then?
Probably. So that's going to be, like we're going to have to double check that. I know the audience is going to be like, what the hell? You guys don't even know. Don't cut us some slack, guys. Cut us some slack.
We have so much shit in our brains. It's hard to keep it all in sometimes.
But no, I mean, I definitely see 2025 is going to be a crazy year for superhero movies, but you know, we got one crazy movie coming out right now. We got Ant-Man and Quantumania. What do you think's gonna happen? Do you think the movie's gonna be good?
I think it's hard to say because since Endgame, it's been a mixed bag. You know,
Yeah.
so it's been, you know, kind of 50-50. Like, so let's go through the films since Endgame. So we had Black Widow, which was okay.
Yeah.
Like, if it had come out straight after Civil War, would have been received better, I think. Shang-Chi, great, brilliant introduction for that character. Eternals is good, maybe a bit too long, but good. No Way Home,
brilliant.
In my opinion, best comic book film of all time.
Whoa! Not the best comic book film?
Yes.
Whoa.
Well, it's definitely my personal favorite, and that makes me biased to say it's the best. So
we're gonna have to do another episode about that in the future.
Yeah, that's a conversation for another time.
Okay.
What was after that? It was Multiverse of Madness.
Yeah.
Didn't live up to the potential.
Yeah.
Love and Thunder.
Oh my god, that was trash. That was trash, bro.
You might have to bleep the things I could say about that.
Bro, that was trash.
It's the only terrible MCU movie. It's the bottom of the pile in terms of the MCU movies.
You think it's worse than The Dark World?
Yeah, because Dark World, it tries to be one type of film. Thor: Love and Thunder tries to be so many different types of films, fails at every single one. Dark World tries to be one type of film. It succeeds in it. It doesn't necessarily do it well, but at least it does that type of film. And it's still, I think, even though it's not great, it's enjoyable to watch. Dark World. You can, if you're doing a rewatch, you know, it's still enjoyable. But I don't think I'll ever watch Thor: Love and Thunder again in my life.
You said in my life.
Yeah. You know, I'm an avid collector of Blu-rays, steelbooks for, you know, all the Marvel movies.
Right,
I'm never ever giving Thor: Love and Thunder a single penny of my money.
Really? Wow. I mean, I hated the movie too. Don't get me wrong, I didn't like it. They really crapped all over Jason Aaron's gore and that whole run. Like it's. I agree. It could have been a lot better.
And then go on.
No, I was going to ask you what was next.
After that is Wakanda Forever, which
was
great.
Yeah, I loved it.
Top 5 MCU.
I would. Yeah. Would you say it's better than Black Panther 1?
I think so.
I think. Okay. I'm just, so I admittedly, I just love the ocean. I love the open sea. I love the water. If there's anything ocean related, I'm going to love it. So the way that they made a Namor and a Talocan and the underwater sequences, and I really loved, and especially people like who have never been to the ocean, I don't think they realize this, is when you swim underwater, especially in the deep sea, it's hard to see. It's kind of scary. Like, you know, like I remember one time, when a couple of friends to South Beach in Miami, went on a deep ocean cruise and to go snorkeling and stuff. Nobody else wanted to go. It was just me. I jump into the water and I'm so scared because it's like, because, you know, naturally when you're in a pool, you can kind of touch the ground and you have a sense of your bearings. That was the first time in my life where I was like, I don't know what I don't know. You know what I mean? Like you can just like you like at a point underwater, bro, it's just black. And that was like, it's really humbling and powerful and like beautiful to see just how beautiful the ocean is. I'm not trying to be Mr. Aquaman now. I'm just saying, like, I love the water. but I say that to say in Wakanda Forever, it was really brilliant to see, like, you see shadows move and then you see an orca whale and then you see all the Talakanil like on the orca and it's literally like how you would be swimming underwater. And I really loved that. So yeah, from that aspect, I loved Wakanda Forever just because I love the water stuff. But I think it just kind of missed the organization and the coherent plot that the first movie had. But that's not a diss because that was by design, obviously, because Chadwick Boseman, rest in peace, passed away. Like, how could you recover from that, you know?
And in terms of like the emotional aspect of it, besides Infinity War and Endgame, which are, you know, enigmas, I don't think a Marvel film, an MCU film, has made me feel the same emotions that Wakanda Forever did, especially in the post-credit scene when T'Challa and Nakia's son says, you know, I'm Prince T'Challa. That just got to me.
Do you think they're going to be, or do you think they're going to age him up rapidly, or do you think that this is going to be like a Harry Potter situation where that is the role of the actor and they're going to grow with it?
I don't know. Maybe they could do something like that, or I could see them doing a time jump and then like what they did with bring it back to Ant-Man, Cassie Lang. Brought in a new actress to play an older version of her. Yeah, I think I could see them doing that because Marvel aren't afraid of recasting a superheroes kid as we've seen.
I just want to see a T'Challa and Storm romance, and the X-Men are coming, and if the X-Men will be younger, and this kid will be like maybe how old is he, 8 or 9? If you know, in a few years, maybe 5-6 years. Probably be, you know, a bit older. Maybe we could get Teen Storm and Teen T'Challa. Like,
yeah, it's such a perfect way to keep the character of T'Challa. Prince T'Challa we still have a character called T'Challa in the MCU, so we've not recast Chadwick, but we still have T'Challa, which is but
yeah. I mean, and we could keep talking about it, but that is the end of today's episode, guys. So. Yeah, thank you so much for listening. Before we go, guys, you know, as we're nerds, we like to read, watch everything. What is something that you would, Ollie, recommend the audience to read, to play, to watch, something that you feel like our audience would enjoy?
I am going to recommend 2 different comic series for our audience today. So with Invincible Season 2 coming up later this year, it's a perfect time to get into reading Invincible because this is something where reading the comics, even though you'll get spoilers for later seasons, it'll enhance your enjoyment of the show by a million. Because the show keeps improving on the comics, so it's a perfect time to get into reading Invincible with everything in the show coming up. And another comic book I'd like to recommend is also by Image Comics. It's a very new comic. Its first issue came out 2 years ago yesterday, I think. It's Radiant Black. One of my favourite titles that's coming out at the moment. So yeah, they're my recommendations for this one.
Okay. And what is Radiant Black about?
Without giving too much away, it's written by a guy who got his start in the comics industry after doing a Power Rangers podcast. So it's very heavily Power Rangers inspired, with a bit of Invincible sprinkled in there. There's this guy who he's a failed author. He's like thousands of dollars in debt, and he stumbles upon these powers that lead him on an intergalactic adventure.
Okay, all right. Hell yeah, I want to check that out. I'm going to recommend, guys, you know, please check out other wrestling stuff other than just WWE. And, you know, so like AEW is doing some good stuff. They were on top, but then Triple H, Papa H came and saved WWE. So, you know, AEW need to go back to the drawing board, watch New Japan, and also support your local wrestling shows. You know, like that's where, you know, the Legends of Tomorrow are made, and we love pro wrestling. So check it out. One comic book series I strongly recommend everybody to read. Please check out Saga. That's really, really good by Brian K. Vaughan. You know, it's just, if you like family, if you like intergalactic, you know, type of war, if you like a contemporary war setting, and just, you know, me personally, you know, I just love how they use different alien species to comment about racism and classism. It's just so brilliantly done. So I highly recommend anybody to read Saga. Really, really good stuff. Yeah, but that's the end of today's episode. I'm Zan.
I'm Oli.
And we
are
the
Invincibles.
Yep. Hey,
we'll get used to that.
we'll get used to it. We'll get used to it. You know, thanks guys for checking in. Really appreciate it. Like I said, we talk about everything nerd related, be it WWE, comic book stuff, video games, movies, films, name it, anything nerdy. We'll talk about it. Next week, we're gonna probably be talking a bit way more about the Elimination Chamber, the road to WrestleMania. We're gonna be talking about Last of Us stuff as well, and we're gonna be talking about potentially the PlayStation Showcase that'll be coming out. So stay tuned for that, as well as our thoughts on Ant-Man and Quantumania. So we got a lot of good stuff coming up.
Yes.
Yeah, really excited.
Could be a big one next week.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys. So take it easy, guys. Take care.
Bye.